Greetings and welcome to the energy of Aquarius. This is Ron from Tarot of the Twin Sun. Tarot of the Twin Sun is a functional division within the Order of the Twin Sun. Please take only what you will. Now, this is a reading for the 11th house as well, Aquarius, especially the ascendant of Aquarius, particularly for the day of the 6th of April 2023. It is a monthly forecast, and what I see so far is a particular activation of the full moon that happens on the 6th of April that activates your 3rd and 9th houses. Okay? Primarily, the moon is in Libra, and it's going to be full at 16 degrees of Libra in your 9th house. Okay, so there is a sense of truth and inspiration that comes to the higher mind that you are essentially attributing yourself to. There is a sense of a loss of a self in another, but the other is usually communal in nature, and they're usually based on the idea of a civilization that is based on futuristic principles, that is based on freedom of mind, freedom of thought, and truth through justice, truth through liberty, truth through a sense of fraternity, especially when it comes to this axis. Okay, the Guru is here essentially, but the Guru shifts its energy to the moon. Now, if we look to where Jupiter is from the placement of the moon, it is currently 7 houses away. Okay, it's right across the way in conjunction with the sun, and when the sun is conjunct Jupiter and the sun is opposite the full moon, essentially the blessings of Jupiter become combust a little bit. So it's hard to find these lessons, but you're going to find them primarily in relationships, I would reckon, primarily. Meaning that there is a sense that a higher mind or a conversation in terms of philosophy will occur during this time period in which you can share that aspect and become extremely enlightened. To the point of really becoming etheric or projective in nature in terms of Jupiter's expansive quality. But because Jupiter is being combust, some of the darker aspects of that come in the form of dogma or religious figures that may come into your life that are a part of your friend circle or a part of your clique that might not click so well. You might actually come into contention with them within your own space and your sense of preservation. In terms of the mind and your wisdom and your knowledge, okay? So these people might actually come and see you in terms of the guise of a friend or some sort of teacher that is in the friend, but it's more of like a debilitated sort of energy, something where they can be quite fanatical. At the same time, that kind of energy will be auspicious in giving you a sense of inspiration of some sort. Through conflict, inspiration through conflict, or perhaps some sort of philosophical debate during this time with a friend or with someone who sees you as a teacher of some sort, okay? Someone who would actually look to your knowledge for a source of nurturing or something of that degree, that caliber. At the same time, we have here a strong activation on the cusp of your 12th and 1st houses, which is between the energy of Capricorn and Aquarius. And essentially what I'm seeing here is the death of an old way of doing things in terms of work primarily, but also it's the kind of work that goes unnoticed, the kind of work that is based on a spiritual path. And it's a very interesting thing. Now, in order to understand this, we have to look at the placement of Saturn, which is about 1 house away, meaning that your sense of self will be defined by the transformation that you go through in a mystical process that is watched over by Capricorn and Saturn, okay? And a bit of Uranus. Now, the interesting thing is that this will actually provide the effect of a sense of resourcefulness, and it will be defined by how you treat your home, by how you value certain things in your home, in your own inner world, in your temple, your sanctuary, how you clean that. The more you clean that space, the more there will be fruition in terms of your own resourcefulness, as well as in your place of work. There will be a sense of elation in all of that. The thing is that your south node, the south node that's in the sky actually, is activating your 10th house, okay? And this brings in the sense of karma, things that you've been having to tend to for the past at least 6 months, and essentially trying to come to terms with that. There's an auspicious thing right now that's occurring in your 2nd, 6th, and 10th houses, okay? This mystical triangle here that provides a sense of action, the kind of action that's actually provided to give you a sense of stability in terms of your reality, but also it simultaneously activates um, a sort of interesting dynamo with your sense of home and your sense of karma in general, how to essentially address what you're called here to do truthfully. And because your 10th house is in the energy of Scorpio, there's a possibility of deep transformation of these old karmas in order to find a sense of freedom or find a sense of elation in terms of some of the more interesting desires or the complexes that are serving you in your home, meaning that objects in your home can actually be conduits for this type of change. And it activates in the 2, the 6, and the 10th houses. Primarily, what I see here is, let's see here, it would be a sense of right doing in terms of work, primarily. Work. Okay. Not to call you a workaholic or anything, but I think the period of April will primarily bring relationships that will be auspicious for transformation in terms of and reflection in terms of how you deal with these relationships and learn through your friends about also potentially how to deal with realities that are tied directly to your work and your sense of karma, your sense of duty, and then also how there's something about the conjunction of Mercury and the North Node in Taurus that will give you something auspicious in terms of the sense of how you treat your home and your safe space, your private space. Okay, so tend to that. Make sure everything is clean during this month. Spring cleaning, whatever you want to call it. There also is a possibility here of some sort of transformation that's going on with you, some sort of self-transformation that is somewhat disruptive. It has to do with some form of awakening. It's tied to the reptilian parts of exploration in terms of tantric energy or potentially kundalini energy. There is some sort of block that is occurring that has to do essentially with your sense of home and your sense of purpose on the outer world, dealing with karmas in the outer world. This kind of block will naturally sort of fix itself. I think you have to go through the process right now. They're all interlinked, dark and light. And there's a possibility that the stellium that's occurring in Taurus will affect your family, your home space, your home country. All of this is very much important in going through this transformation for you from the mystical house of the 12th to the 1st, okay? So primarily it's a movement and it has to do with essentially your own sense of self-representation when dealing with others, especially with the way you treat your home and the way you work. That's all going in tandem, okay? So that is the very best I can do for now. I do wish you well. Thank you. Bye-bye.